Alright, hey, it's Mega here, and welcome to the Treasure Island TT 2022 After Action Review, alright? So this is after all the racing. Alright, so After Action Review is what was supposed to happen, what really happened, and things that we could do to improve or sustain for the future if we ever race again. Like, oh yeah, you can bet Hayes Mega wants to race this race again. Right, so Hayes Mega race in the Treasure Island TT, alright? This is the kind of race that happens like once a year, but they haven't done it for a while. I watched a YouTube video of them racing on Treasure Island, and it looked hella fun, alright? They were racing like with mini bikes and stuff. It looked hella sketchy, and it looked hella fun too. I was like, man, I want to race in that race. So like, yeah, they haven't done it for a couple years because of COVID, and then now it's back, alright? So, and it was in the kind of like South San Francisco a little bit, kind of near the piers and stuff. It wasn't actually at Treasure Island. If you guys don't know where Treasure Island is like an island that's like off of the Bay Bridge. From if you drive down the Bay Bridge, there's an exit that will take you to Treasure Island, all right, from San Francisco, or you can go from Oakland or whatever, all right. It's an island near San Francisco, all right, and they do this race once a year there. But today it was at it was kind of like at a waterfront in San Francisco, which is good for me because I don't have to drive as far, all right. Okay, so what was supposed to happen, all right? Hayes Mega signed up. Like, I was kind of scratching my head whether I was going to race it or not. I wanted to race it on this thing, okay? And then yeah, so I raced the Coyote Creek Sprint Enduro on the Sauron Light Bee last week. Check that race video out, all right? Where I destroyed my motor, all right? So if you guys are wondering, that's not a Sauron motor in there. That's a QS motor. That's the QS 165 motor that I bought for this bike a while back, but I couldn't get it to run properly. Yeah, I threw it in there, okay? So the plan was actually to race my Super Cub, all right? That's why I have the Super Cub in the picture, and that's why it's got tape all over it, and it has just 277 on the headlight and the side. Yeah, that's the reason. That's the reason that I was gonna actually race it in this race, and I am glad I did it, all right? Because it was like a super moto race, guys. It was pretty much half dirt and half pavement, all right, guys. it was freaking nuts. But anyway, super moto, that's right up your alley, Hayes Mega, right? Yeah, but anyway, so the original plan was to race this. 125 cc's is the cc limit, all right, the engine size limit. And guess what? Super Cub's a 125, right? So it's actually perfect for that race. Now, honestly, I thought it was going to be more pavement, and like I said, it was 50-50. It was 50 dirt, 50 pavement. I don't think I would want to beat up my Super Cub in dirt like that, okay? I've kind of ridden it in the dirt, and it's okay, man, but like, yeah, I would have beat the crap out of this poor bike, you know, and this is my work bike. I'm trying to keep it nice, you know. So that's the reason why well, that's one of the reasons I didn't want to race it, all right, because it was my work bike. And two, the other reason is on the email for the Treasure Island TT, they mentioned no trailers. I was like, oh man, no trailers. Well, and then I tried. I have a Harbor Freight carrier for my RAV4, and they're like, yeah, you got to bring like a tall vehicle because there's like a drop off to get into the pits, and I can't put the Super Cub on this because there's an exhaust and the brake lever is under there. So I was like, oh crap. So what am I gonna do? Like, and I tried to put it on the Harbor Freight rack, and it wasn't having it, man. The fairings get in the way of the straps, and the straps were small enough that they were too long. So I said, I forget it. You know what? Just freaking go. Just take this. We're gonna take the Light Bee, okay? But I asked if I could take the trailer, and they're like, yeah, maybe. But somebody came with the trailer, and it was okay. I was like, okay, there was a plenty. I don't know why. I mean, I guess I could have brought a trailer, man. It was a small trailer. It might have got scraped up a little bit, but I think it would have been fine. Okay, that's all I want to say. But yeah, the only way I'm towing that thing is on a trailer, all right, not a carrier, all right. It doesn't fit very good on a carrier. So it's the plan was to leave at 3 o'clock and get there at 4 o'clock, guys, because the race The registration ends at pre-registration ends at 4, and the registration ends at 6, and practice starts at 5 or 6. I don't remember, man, but yeah. So you get like a practice and stuff, all right? And the reason I'm wearing this jacket is because this is the gear I used. All right, I use a 2-piece Alpine Star suit that I don't wear very often because it's too tight for me, and it's red. All right, it's got a lot of red on it, so it would have matched my Super Cub. All right, I got the pants like right over. Take a look at my garage for a second. All right. This is what my garage looks like right now. It's a freaking mess, all right? There's tools and stuff. That motor was on the floor earlier. That's my old Sauron motor that blew up recently. There's straps over there for me trying to put the Super Cub on the trailer. There's my stand right there.
Okay,
yeah.
So my garage doesn't normally look like this, guys, all right? Because Hades Omega made the quick decision, all right, we're going to race the Light Bee, all right? But to get the Light Bee running again, all right, I don't have the controller. I sent it off to Electric & Co. to have them look at it because I think I broke it, all right? I might have overheated it or something. And then and I knew, like, oh, you know what? We can race this bike, but we'll have to put the QS motor in because I had a QS 165 motor. That's the one that's in there right now. And there was no controller on the bike. Well, I still have the BAC 4000, so I spent like an hour and a half putting this bike back together, all right, so we can go race this race, all right? And so I could throw it on this MotoJack rack because it'll be a lot more convenient to go over there. I was like, I was contemplating parking my trailer, my vehicle on my trailer, and then riding my Super Cub out to where they were racing. But I was like, you know what, it's San Francisco, and I don't know, man. It might be like hella shady place, and somebody might break into your vehicle or steal your trailer or something. I was like, no, don't do it, Merlin. so I wanted to park in the pits with like everybody else. All right, so that was the idea, right? So it took me, it was like 2 o'clock already. I was like, and I was like, I got an hour left before I was supposed to leave at 3 o'clock, right? So it's 2 o'clock. I got an hour. Let's see what we could do in an hour, and if not, we'll just throw it on the trailer, and then we'll figure something out when we get there. the Super Cub, I mean. All right, but I was able to swap the motor out and the controller out in about 1.5 hours. So I left at like, I left at 4:30. I left at 4:30. It takes me about an hour to get to San Francisco. So I got there about 5:30, like pretty much when everybody had just got there. So I just barely made it in the nick of time, all right? And like I said, I hurriedly slapped everything in there. I put the QS motor back in there. I had to take the chain out, put the chain in. I had to swap the sprocket out. I forgot to tighten the bolt. I forgot to tighten the bolts that are on the lower part of the battery door. I forgot. I was like, wait a minute, did I tighten those? You know what? I don't think I did. But I did tighten the top ones. Hopefully it'll hang out. It'll be good enough for the race. And then I had to charge the batteries too. The batteries weren't really charged. All right. Turns out I really only needed one battery for this race. The course was really short. All right, is what I want to say. It was about like less than a mile for sure. Okay. And then I still had to change the wheels. I had the knobby tires, all right, on here from the dirt bike rack. You saw them when you looked at through my garage, right? So I was like, and then I wanted to put the street tires on, all right, my Michelin Pilot Pilot street tires, all right. But they didn't have a rear brake rotor. I was like, oh man, that's gonna be kind of weird have a caliper but no rear brake rotor, you know. So I was like, okay, just put the slicks on there, all right. I think I was one of the only people with slicks out there. I think there was some 65s out there that had slicks. I was one of the few people that had slicks out there. And so we went out there without tire warmers, okay. But I had to swap the wheels real quick. That took some time. And I didn't even bother to check the chain. I didn't check the tire pressure. I was like, yeah, it's fine. Run whatever tire pressure is in there. I found out you can run these tires pretty low tire pressure because the Light Bee is so light, all right? You don't really need a lot of tire pressure in there, all right, to hold it up. And that's good. The less tire pressure, the better because you'll get more grip, right? And the tires will heat up better. Okay, I even use that. The wire block wire connector block from the electric and co kit. I use it because I was like, no, just put it in there, man, so we don't have to worry about the heat shrink and all that stuff, making it look all pretty. I basically just shoved everything in there. All right. I had to put the NXT display and the regen throttle back on, and boy, did I use that regen throttle a whole lot, man. I really am gonna miss that thing when it goes away. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna race without it, man. It really helps on the races. And the interesting thing to note is that I raced against a guy that had a 150R that he has the Electro and Company QS 138 kit. All right, it's a QS motor with a gearbox basically, and he let me ride it. It rips, man. It has the same controller that I had on this bike that I blew up. All right, so yeah. Anyway, yeah. So we got there. I got there at like 5:30. Bike slapped together the bike, you know, and then I have all my gear. I just threw my gear on. I had to go and register. I didn't really have to pay anything because I registered online. It was $45 if you pre-register, guys. And then there was some kind of toy drive thing. I didn't bring a toy. But anyway, yeah, so I wound up using the 21700 battery pack, and then all I did was topped it off, all right? I did bring my generator and my charger, just in case. I did bring the cooler with me. I didn't think I need it. And how did the bike run, ladies and gentlemen? I'll tell you this now, man. I took it for a quick ride up and down the block to test the tune-out, okay? It took me a while to get it right. For whatever reason, the auto tune didn't want to work properly. I was like, man, why isn't it working? It was working before. If you remember before, I had to reverse the motor because it was going in the wrong direction. So there's a way you can reverse the motor with the NXT display. And then I had to, I think I was running 320 phase amps. I had it set to 320 and about 30% field weakening. And it was at 4,100 watts, all right, 4.1 kilowatts. Not a lot of power, guys. That's pretty much stock Sauron, all right? Anything more than that, and it throws a hissy fit, man. The bike cuts out, or it starts stuttering and stuff. Yeah, I need it to be reliable. Okay, so I had to detune it a whole lot. So it's pretty much about as fast as a stock Sauron, sadly enough. All right. So anyway. Yeah, so we went out there. I raced in what's called the sportsman class. Our class was so big, they put it up into like 2 classes. So there was a sportsman 1 and 2. Hayes Omega started in sportsman 1, and I was in the back. And oh yeah, before that there was a practice, all right? We did practice. I did 3 laps around the thing. I did walk it beforehand, and then the sun was coming down fast, all right? So that's one of the sketchy things about these races. It's at night, okay? It was like the races started at like 7 o'clock, and it's dark already, and and they don't let you use your headlights because it blinds the scorers, because the people need to see your bike, and if they can't see your number because you blind them, then it's all bad, man. and the dirt section wasn't lit up very well, okay? So I'll tell you right now. Okay, but yeah, this is one of the sketchiest races I've ever done. It was dark, the lighting wasn't so good, and we were riding in like this kind of like dirt parking lot, sort of is what it was. And yeah, so we go out for practice, and I was like, oh yeah, man, I don't know what to expect, man. so I'm going through there. I'm riding through the dirt section. I'm getting no grip on the front tire at all, man, because we're just riding on like freaking. It's like a gravel parking lot, sort of. It's like a hard dirt with like rocks all over it, like marbles and stuff. It was super slippery, guys. So yeah, I was not getting any front traction at all. So you'd really have to get your elbow off and leg out and just slide the bike around a little bit. All right. And I got pretty good at it. I think if you got a good line in the dirt, you can just really rail on it, man. But yeah, it was a whole lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It was a cool little track. It was like it was kind of like an oval, but not really. It had a bunch of turns on it, all right? There's a nice sweeper turn. There's like a really tight hairpin turn that you have to literally stop to get around it. There was a chicane that went to a jump, all right? They had a ramp. There's two lanes, all right? There's a there's one without the jump and then one with the jump. All right, it was a ramp. All right, it was like this big ramp that you just ride up and you just launch your bike on it. Yeah, there was like a legit jump on the pavement. It was freaking dope. I've seen it on the movies before. I was like, oh, this is it, man. I was so excited, man. And yeah, the Lightning got over that stuff, no problem. So also there was a drop off. There's a drop off that when you transition from the pavement to the dirt, there's a drop off. There's like a dirt drop off. And I watched it. They had a scooter race, guys. There was a scooter race, all right. And I watched them race bikes, kind of like the Super Cub, and they were just bottoming the crap out of the suspension. I was like, oh hell no, I don't want to ride my Super Cub on that. so I said, so I was like, oh yeah, I'm glad I brought this because and a lot of the videos that you watch online, most of it is just pavement. It looks like mostly pavement, and then yeah, they got the little ramp to jump and everything. But yeah, so we're out there and we're just ripping it up. And so I got about 3 laps and then they took us in. The practice was like really short. It was like 5 minutes or something. We go in and so it's a heat race and the main race. They said they were going to do 5 and 10, but we wound up doing 2 5s, all right? So so I'm in Sportsman 1 and I think I'm not sure. I grid almost at the back. I don't know how they decided on the grid order. Maybe it's when you got there or whatever. I don't know, whatever. All I know is I'm racing and I just want to have some fun. It's like not a lot on the line here, guys. So I'm in the back somewhere. I start off in the back. The bike is like super freaking slow, man. Like it's embarrassingly slow. And so I have to tell myself. Also, another thing is I have to tell myself, you can't whack the throttle open, Marlon. Because if you whack the throttle open, the bike will die, and then you got to turn it off and turn it back on, all right? So I had to tell myself, you got to roll on the throttle, Marlon. You can't just whack it open, just get it to go right away, because it doesn't like that, all right? The controller's messed up, all right? It's been doing that to me all year, so even the way it is right now. But yeah, man, it survived, all right? So what I say. So it was a 5-lap heat race. I started in the back, and I got stuck behind this guy wearing a banana costume. Yeah, he's bigger. Okay, so in the first Sportsman heat race, I raced against a dude in like a green. It was like one of those green, like fluorescent green suits. All right, it was like a safety suit, like high vis green. All right, is what it was. It was high vis green, and I raced against a guy. He was wearing like these knitted pigtails, twin tails. They were twin tails. All right, and there was a bunch of like XR100s. Most of them were XR100s, guys. All right, that's like the legendary XR100. That's the bike, man, the mini bike to race. Yeah, and then there was a guy wearing a banana costume. Okay, it was this old XR. It kind of looked like Joe's XR. Joe, the guy I race at Hawks Ranch, he has this old white framed XR. It looked just like that bike. It looked just like Joe's bike, but he was wearing a freaking banana costume. All right, guys, I never raced against a guy wearing a banana costume. It was freaking hilarious, right? And so yeah, when we raced, all right, we took off, and then I wound up behind the guy with the banana costume, all right, and we were in the dirt together. I don't know who was in front of me and back of me, man. It was so sketchy. It was so dark. I couldn't see anything in the dirt section. When we went in there was dust and crap all over the place. I couldn't see anything, dude. I was looking for silhouettes of cones. They had cones and like tires on the ground. That was the barriers. And then sometimes I could feel the tires on the ground for the barriers. I could feel it rub up against my foot. I'm like, whoa, we're getting close to that barrier, man. Like I couldn't see anything, man. All I could see was just a silhouette of a cone, all right? And so that's what I'm going off of, all right? But that, and I'm kind of just following the bikes in front of me, okay? So I followed the banana into, on the first lap, I followed the banana up the thing, up back onto the pavement. There's another, like another step up or like kind of a ledge to get up to back onto the pavement, and we go up that, and then like he slows down a whole lot. I was like, oh shit! I think I kissed his wheel like just a little bit. I tapped his wheel just a little bit. I was like, oh shit! And I had to get on the brakes really hard to keep from hitting him. I was like, oh man, he went hella slow around that corner. And then I think I whacked the throttle open when I took off. And the bike died. All right, I watch it in the video. I can't remember if it was the second or third lap, but yeah.
out. Come on.
Definitely, when this bike comes, if you slow it down and then you whack the throttle open right away, it cuts out. All right, guys. It did that. It's done that to me the whole year. It's so freaking annoying. There's nothing more annoying when, like, oh, I need to get on the throttle right away so we can catch up to the guys in front of us, and then the bike just dies, and then you have to spend like 2 or 3 seconds to turn the bike on, turn the bike off, and turn the bike back on, right? So yeah, it was pretty crazy, man. So the guy in the banana suit, he gets some distance on me. He's probably about like 15 feet in front of me now. Like I was right on his tail before, and then the gap kind of widened because I had to shut the bike off and start it again. And then, so there's just like a big pack of riders in front of me. I can't remember. There was a Grom. Yeah, there was a dude racing a Grom. There was 2 bikes that were really slow, and we lapped them. So I'm just following everybody, you know, and I'm starting to catch up to the banana, sorta. All right, and then I'm pretty close to the banana, like through one of the. So there's like a sweeping hairpin turn, and I think I caught up to him pretty close to there, and then we were passing lappers. All right, we were lapping people. Like on the dude on the ground, like, you know, it's a ground. It's not really, you're not supposed to really ride it on the dirt, you know. So here's the crazy thing. On the final lap, all right, the white flag goes up, and so we're passing, and then so we go into the dirt, and I notice there's just kind of like traffic, like a pile up almost. They got stuck behind this lap, the bike that we were lapping. They got stuck behind it. And so I got really lucky. I just like, and it was kind of like a wide section, and there was just, everyone was like stuck on the right. So I went around them on the left, and I just passed them all, right? And I got 2nd place in that race. It was freaking nuts. What a clutch. That was like a clutch situation right there. I like turned it around like instantly on the final lap. Yeah, man, it couldn't have happened like any better than that.
I got lucky, I passed them. Go, 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 go. Holy shit, what a close
I was
pass.
behind the 450 bike, the guy with the pigtails, the twin tails. Yeah, I finished right behind that guy. Well, not right behind. He had a good lead, pretty much ahead of everybody. There's no way I was going to catch him. But yeah, I finished behind 450. I finished 2nd. Okay, I'm pretty sure I finished 2nd. Okay, and then yeah, we were all watching the race, and yeah, man, it's a pretty incredible racing. There were expert racers out there too. So, and man, they were hauling the mail out there on those little XR100s and stuff. It's amazing to see them race those bikes, man. Okay, and then so here's the next, and then the main race comes along. All right, so they had 2 main races. They had 2 heat races, and then I guess whoever the people that finished 6th within 6th place, they advanced to the main round. I've never had that happen before, where they had 2 main races, and then like if you didn't make the cut, then too bad, you're not racing in the main race. So Hayes Mega gridded up 6th place. All right, I finished 2nd, but they put me in 6th behind these other guys that I didn't know. You know, apparently they were pretty fast. Okay, but yeah, what happened? Okay, so I topped the battery off. All right, I top it off to 90%. That's where I like it, so I can use the regen throttle. And I'm telling you, the regen throttle was money in this race again, man. It allowed me to slow the bike around, going around the corners, especially that quick U-turn where you had to stop. I was giving it so much regen, the back was sliding around there, and that's how I got around that corner so fast. You know? And yeah, and I was able to get it to slide around a little bit in the dirt with the regen throttle. Yeah, man, I gotta miss that regen throttle. I really missed it in that last race. All right, and then I'm really gonna miss it when I say bye bye to this controller and motor. All right. But anyway, the bike is running good, all right? It only cut out once the last time. Sometimes it stutters if you get on it too fast. But in the main race, it didn't cut out at all, all right? It ran pretty damn good, all right? So what happens? All right, we're gridded 6. We take off, and I shit you not, guys. It's like freaking slow. It was like a slow motion. Like it's me rolling on the throttle, taking off. You know, Hades Mega usually gets the whole shots, all right? But not in the bike with like, that's like got like the power of a stock Sauron, man. I pretty much raced a stock Sauron, all right? And everybody just took off, and I could see this slow motion, like everybody just fast. Like that.
Oh, everybody just left me at the beginning, man. I'm
I was
fucking
like,
bad,
oh,
man.
hell no. And yeah, they took off like hella fast. And who was I behind? I wasn't behind the banana. I think I was behind the guy with the green suit for a while. And then it was just all I remember. Yeah, I was fogging. I remember my face shield was fogging. I was breathing so hard into it. I didn't bring goggles with me. What Hades Mega needs to do is I need to get a pair of goggles with clear shields. So if we do ride at night, I can just swap the goggles. You know, it's too much of a hassle to change the lens. You know, I do have like a clear lens, but it's just a pain in the ass to change it. And most of my races are in the daytime, but so yeah, what I wound up using was my dual sport helmet. All right, I have a dual sport helmet that has like a sunshade and it has a clear face shield on it, right? So that's the one I used, and it was fogging pretty bad. All right, so I'm fogging, and then when we go into the dirt, it's just so much dust I can't see anything, man. I'm having a hard time seeing the bike in front of me. If somebody had crashed in front of me in the dirt section, I probably would have ran them over, because there was so much dust you couldn't see what was in front of you, and if somebody was down there on the ground, you wouldn't freaking know it. Okay, it was hella sketchy, and it was dark. Like I said, I'm trying to look for the silhouettes of the cones. All right, I can see the silhouettes of the cone. I stick my leg out to kind of like feel it a little bit. I got pretty close to the edge like a bunch of times. All right, but the dirt's just like a bunch of little S turns, and then it straightens out, and then it spits you out into the pavement. And I think I stay behind those people like the whole time. I'm pretty much on them the whole time. But what I didn't know is that the guy racing the CRF 150R electric bike is right behind me. All right, I didn't hear him at all, but he said, yeah, he was like pretty much right on my wheel the whole time, but he couldn't pass me. So I think he said like he couldn't get around that U-turn fast enough because he doesn't have a regen throttle. That's why. I use the regen throttle to slide it around. So since Hades Mega races Supermoto, Hades Mega is good. It's pretty good in the dirt and on the pavement. All right, so that's the requirement of the race. You got to be able to be good on the dirt and the pavement, and Hades Mega is pretty good in both. All right, honestly, I'm probably better in the dirt than I am in the pavement. All right, that's where I get everybody, but not in this one. A lot of people were riding with knobbies or like trials tires or something. It would have been nice to have tires with some kind of tread, but the slicks did all right. Yeah, you know, what can I say? I think they did okay. And like, yeah, I didn't have any. It was so sketchy. It's just like you're just kind of riding in the dark and you can't see anything, and like if just whatever, and then you don't even really know what the bike is doing. Like the bike is just going all over the place and stuff, and it's just let it do that, Roland. I was just like, yeah, just whatever. Throw caution out the window. Let's go. Don't worry about what's in front of you. Just kind of just feel your way around, type of thing. That's the best way I can describe it, man. Like I had to just rely on like just riding, all right, or following. Kind of like, yeah, just kind of memorizing what's in front of the track and stuff. Yeah, man, I had a couple pretty good lines in there. But yeah, I think we finished fourth. That's pretty good. I think there had to be like maybe like 12 of us, 10 or 12 or something, and I finished fourth, like in the middle of the pack. Not bad. The guys in front were pretty fast. I couldn't catch up to them. There was a guy wearing like it was like a Joe Rocket mesh gear or something. Yeah, I think that. And then there was the guy. Oh yeah, there was the guy in the green suit, the high vis green suit. He he got tangled up. I think he crashed and somebody hit him, and then the caution tape got wound up on his stuff, and like I saw him. We lapped him like twice or something. I saw him like out there twice. I was like, oh shit, he can't get his bike running. Oh well, that's good for me. I was like, whatever. And then yeah, the whole time that 150R goes right behind me, man. But he never passed me. So I came in fourth, I think, on that race. I can't quite remember, man. They didn't even post the results up. There was like no results. But I think if you got like on the podium, they gave you like a bottle of champagne or something, right? that was the trophy, all right. And I don't think I got it. I think I got like fourth place. I was like in the middle somewhere. But anyway, that was a lot of fun. That's the first time I've done that. That's the first time I've raced in San Francisco. That's the first time I've raced at night, okay, with slick tires, all right. Yeah, that was a lot of firsts, man. And that was the first time I raced with this QS 165 motor. It actually did pretty good, man. It was pretty zippy, but like, yeah, like I said, I had to dial the power back a whole lot. I feel that, like, I mean, if you could get this motor tuned properly, this thing would rip, man. You could probably push like 14, 15 kilowatts through it, man, and I think it would handle it pretty damn well. It's a good motor, but it's just like, yeah, it doesn't run properly with this controller. I need to find a good controller. I heard that the far driver controllers are the best ones for this, but I think, yeah, so okay, this is kind of the improves here, all right, guys. Yeah, we need to fix the Sauron, guys. I think what Hades Omega is going to do is we're going to go with KO Technologies, all right? They made this motor and controller combo that's super duper expensive, but it's super duper high speed, all right? Yeah, I heard it can handle like up to 35 kilowatts of power. That's a lot of, that's 7 times as much power as the freaking Sauron is putting out in stock, all right? It's 7 times, all right? Literally, I mean, this bike, when I had it running good, it was probably about 3 times as fast as a stock Sauron. Just think about 7 times. So just take that 3 times and double it pretty much, all right? That's how much power that bad boy puts out. I can't even imagine racing a bike with 35 kilowatts. That's a bike like this. That would be terrifying, man. It would be so fast. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, I think we got to do it, man. I need something. I need a more potent combo, right? I'm always having problems with the bike overheating. Fortunately tonight I didn't have any problems with the bike overheating. It ran fine. It didn't cut out at all in the main race, but I did cut out on the heat race once. And that cost me a few seconds, man. The banana just took off in front of me. I really only needed 1 battery for this race. I probably should have just used a smaller battery so the bike would have been a little lighter. And yeah, the controller didn't get hot. I don't think the motor got hot. I didn't even bother to check. It was such a short race, man. It was only like 5 laps. I think... I know 3 laps is 1.3 miles. So yeah. So it's about... It's almost like a quarter mile. Yeah, it's almost like a quarter mile track is what it is. Okay, and yeah, and so for having just slapped the bike together and then just tuning it down all the way to 4,000 kilowatts, I think we did pretty good. That's what we'll say. And I had a whole lot of fun, man. And the bike handled great, you know. Yeah, and I'm just gonna have to check everything out. I know there's some grease coming out of the fork. I'm gonna have to clean that up. What I think I did stiffen the suspension a little bit. I think I went up 3 clicks on the Von Cat rear shock. The Von Cat rear shock did real good. All right, there isn't really a whole lot of jumping and uneven terrain. It was the perfect race for the Sauron, right? We would just launch it off that little jump, and then yeah, we would hit the ramp jump. Oh, it was so much fun on the Sauron, I'm telling you. That's the kind of race that this bike was designed for, man. It was like, I would have, if I had a stock Sauron, I think it would have done great. Like, so those of you guys that have Saurons out there, race the Treasure Island TT. All right, you guys in San Francisco, go out there and race, man. Because it would be a great race for a Sauron. Even if you just had the 19s, it would have been perfect, man. It was like I said, 50% dirt, 50% pavement. So, yeah, I think if you had a stock Sauron, you would have had fun on this race, man. is what I'm gonna say. Yeah, so yeah, we just got to get this motor and controller all ironed out. The bike handled pretty good. Maybe it would have been better if I put the street tires on it. I think these tires they're pretty slippery. They're a little slippery when they're cold, but these tires don't require a huge amount of warm up. They gripped pretty good, even on the pavement. Like I was pushing it pretty hard through that sweeper turn. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, the race footage. All right, I have a practice, a race, and then I think I took a video of the scooter race. That was so sketchy. Like the thing is, like, the video is really bad because it's at night, man. It's really hard to get good video at night because there's, you know, the lighting is just sucks, man. But I hope you guys enjoyed the race footage. I sure enjoyed it, and it was a lot of fun. And I ran into a lot of people that I race with in Supermoto USA. Like, Supermoto USA is like kind of like a big family, you know. Once you start racing with everybody, you get to know everyone. It's that type of thing, all right? So I ran into a bunch of people that I've been racing like last year and this year. Yeah, it was a whole lot of fun, man. And it's like that's the first time I raced in San Francisco, and it was so sketchy, man. Like I just cobbled the bike together. It took me 1.5 hours to throw all the parts back on the bike, and then I had to ride it and tune it, and then at some point I was like, man, maybe I just don't want to even come to this race, man. I'll just maybe just not go. You guys can have my $45. The good thing is, only $45. That's pretty cheap, man. The only thing that could beat that is that hot pit bike nights, hot August pit bike racing. That was like, it was $25 to race one class, and I came in third place because there was only 3 people racing, and I got $100 for that race. I won $100. That's the first time I won some money in a race. So, yeah, man, that was freaking nuts. And then I wound up giving it back to Electro and Company, so for when I bought their controller. So anyway, yeah, man. So I gotta finish unloading the bike and everything and stuff. I didn't bring too much stuff. Another thing is, like, I hadn't eaten all day. So yeah, you gotta eat before a race, Merle, or else you're gonna be tired. I brought a bunch of like granola bars with me, and I ate them along the way, and I had like a Gatorade and stuff. But I didn't have enough calories in me, so that's another improvement. You gotta eat before the race. But I didn't have time. Like I said, I had an hour after I figured out, Super Cup's not gonna fit on the carrier. I had like an hour to do it. All right, and yeah. So. Okay, anyway, thanks for watching the AAR. That's how it went. I think I came in second in the heat, and I think I came in fourth in the main race. I don't really care. I had a whole lot of fun, and that's all that really matters. This race was just all about just having fun, all right? It was super sketchy, but it was super fun. It's everything I imagined it would be. and to tell you the truth, it was a great supermoto race. That's what it was. It was a supermoto race. There's a long dirt section and a paved section, all right? So, I mean, yeah, you could ride a Grom in the dirt, you know, but yeah, that's what I want to say. I think the Light B did great, all right? I'm kind of glad I didn't bring the Super Cup because I would have beat the crap out of it, man. I didn't want to race it in that race. I could have raced it in the scooter race, but technically it's not a scooter, it's a motorcycle. But I think we probably would have, that would have been fun if we brought both bikes and we raced this bike and this bike and the scooter race. My buddy Alex, the guy racing the Ninja in the dirt, he won first place on his Yamaha Vino. It's freaking crazy, right? Yeah, he's a really fast racer though. So, all right. Anyway, thanks for watching. That's the Treasure Island TT 2022 after action review. Alright, man, I'm super surprised how dirty everything is. Like, I raced this bike in a dirt bike race last week, and it got dirty, but man, it just seems like it got super dirty. Like, all my stuff is so dusty. That dust was like so bad. And yeah, I get the guy on the 150R, he let me ride his he let me ride that electric 150R, and dude, that thing rips, man. Once you get past like a 3/4 throttle, it just takes off like a freaking rocket, man. I like that. I'm not sure if I want to put that kit on the KLX. I'm not, yeah, you know. But I was pretty impressed with it. I wanted to see what it could do, and I think, and that was with the same controller as the one that was on this bike, all right? The Votal EM 150/2. Yeah, that was the same controller. I was surprised how much faster that thing was, though. So maybe maybe if I can get that with the bigger controller, the EM260, the thing will rip, man. That might be good for Supermoto. I might want to do that. I'm not sure, but I think what I'm going to do is we're going to put the KO Moto setup on this guy, and then we'll see if we can get the Suron on the podium, man. All right.